the vegan. I make a pear salad today with a cashew cream, and I seasoned the cashew cream. I will show you in a moment. The cashew cream is made from bananas usually, and cashews. That's the base. And I always add some lemon here because of the bananas. And the bananas, I like to blend the bananas with lemons because not only the flavor, sweet and sour in balance, but also the color. The antioxidants in the lemon, they keep the banana from getting brown. And that's very nice, not only because of the color, but the brown is also a decay. That means the air goes to the banana and it decays then. The lemon stops that. And the third thing is the flavor is not only the sweetness and the sour, it's also, you know, banana has a very complex flavor that reflects very much in the peel of the banana. We don't usually eat that, but it is full of healthy nutrients, and a small part of it only is in the banana fruit. The fruit of the banana has this complex flavor too, from bitter to sweet and tart and everything in between. That's really complex, and if you eat a banana by itself, you might not even feel it. But it also only unfolds, it more unfolds if you combine it with other fruit. For example, with a lemon. Banana really comes to itself. The flavor of the banana really gets even more banana-y, I would say, if I put a little bit of lemon into it. I have 3 bananas here, and I put 1 lemon in there. You could also take only 1 lemon, a half lemon. I guess that would be enough for 3 bananas. Today I like it a little bit more sour, because I know the lemon is very nice together with the pear. Yeah? And I have some more spices here, and the third part of the main dish that is a topping, that is pomegranate seeds. And they're also going to be very nice with citrus. So lemon here is a little bit more than just a balance for the banana. It also should be its own flavor. And it's a cashew cream, as I said before. The cashews here also have an inherent sweetness. Yeah? That comes out when you blend it. Eating cashews like this is a completely different experience. Raw cashews here. Rare, that is rare and expensive. But very precious for the kitchen. It makes a nice cream, very close to what we used to know from cream. I would say cashews even better, but that's a discussion. No, if I blend the cashews into the banana, then it's not only creamy, it's even silken. It's even more than creamy. It's an absolute fantastic texture, and just the flavor also. To me, texture and flavor is very close, because the simplest connection is that if you have a gross texture, yeah, a small surface, then you don't touch that much of the taste buds. If you have a very small textures and a large surface, it's the same, you cut it very short, small pieces, and the surface was larger and larger, then the taste buds get all over covered with so much flavor. So that's the obvious thing why texture is connected to flavor. And the silken shining on the cream, I show you in a moment, is a very special flavor, connected with a very special flavor. Not only the vision, it looks very nice, it's also the flavor very different. You find out if you try it. Blending nuts or seeds with bananas makes all the difference. So I have 3 main ingredients. I could go with this, yeah, for a nice pear salad, that would be perfect. But I will refine this basic recipe with 2 flavors that go perfectly with pear and go perfectly with banana, and each with each other too. I have here a little bit of vanilla, yeah, 1/3 of a teaspoon, and a teaspoon of cinnamon. Cinnamon and vanilla. Vanilla, cinnamon. Yeah. They go in here too. Then I have, again, a trinity. I have a basic recipe and 2 more ingredients to make it another trinity. And trinity also always means a new oneness, a new complexion comes. So It's with a new complexion. That means I don't feel so that much the ingredients. I feel more the whole thing, the complexion by itself. Otherwise, I can feel more the components. And it's always the magic, surprise, yeah, of a recipe or of beauty too, when you do not know what's behind it. Yeah? When there is something you like, you do not know why. There is something that attracts you. And that's what we want to do. Of course, we want to entice, we want to make people excited and feel happy about this. It's a surprise. Of course, the good news is that we know what's inside. Yeah? We actually know it because of very simple ingredients we begin, and that makes it even more interesting. When the mind comes to it and is pleased by what it knows, the fun is even greater. So it can. Yeah. So now there's a little bit of water just to get the blender going, not too much. I can always add a little bit later, a bit more, but I guess by the bananas it would turn into a nice cream anyway. Let's see. Blender dance. Outside it looks pretty nice and creamy and a little bit runny, as it should. Yeah, from inside the surface looks also very nice. Texture seems perfect. It will firm up a little bit because the cashews have not been soaked. If you soak the cashews, it will not firm up afterwards, as opposed to now. Let's taste. Not too much lemon. Very nice. A little bit lemony it is, but definitely not too much. Not sticking out. Just a nice layer, as if waiting for something. And that is the pears. I show you the dressing in a moment. Now I show you my pears. Pears are in season, as always in winter. In autumn they are harvested, like the apples, most of the apples, the main part of the apples. And then we have them all through the winter, like the pears. There are always some nice pears in the health food shop in the winter, and I always get them, you know. Pear is a little bit difficult to keep because very soon they turn into too soft and overripe, and then you can't eat them anymore. So I keep them at home. When they are hard, I buy them firm. I get them home, and when they begin to turn into something soft, I quickly use them. Yeah, the apple not so difficult, but the pears are very sensitive to that. Yeah, so I cut them into these slices here. Yeah. I just quarter the pears after having cleansed them, quarter the pears, and I put the quarters on the cutting board and I do the slices. Very simple. I like the slices of the pears. They have something subtle, yeah, the thin and the large together. Somehow I feel attracted by this shape here, this typical shape now for these slices. And you see the peel is in here. The peel is a little bit bitter. So people tend to peel the pear because of the bitter flavor, and the pear should be sweet like a candy. A friend of mine on Facebook, she recently said pear to her is candy, and I couldn't agree more. Yeah, very nice. It's a candy. You know. Today, when I make the candy, when I got the pear out of the shell from the shelf, I thought, you know why it's a candy, not like an apple, because it is so so precious. Yeah. The pear is very precious, something very special. An apple I can eat every day. You know, everyday apple. There is a saying, and so we know. But the pear is something special, though it is pretty similar to an apple. You know, apple and pear. It's pretty very everyday, very common in our culture. But it is special, and it is. I think it is about the candy effect of the pear. It gets so sweet. But you know, the bitter peel of the pear, that is not really a stranger to the pear. It is a complement to the pear. So the sweetness of the pear is very nice, but it gets even heightened a little bit with the slightly bitterness in the pear. The complex flavor of the sweetness of the pear is reflected in the peel. It's like a tip on the, like a dot on the I. Yeah? I think you can make it very nice. For example, with a complex flavor of this dressing, which requires a lot of sweetness and sour, so of course, the lemon. That corresponds perfectly with the slight bitterness of the pear, of the peel of the pear. So we have a nice combination of flavors here, and the peel adds only to it. It doesn't take away from it. It adds it, and that's how I like to cook. I use the whole ingredient if I can, the whole fruit, and I try to take an advantage of every part of it. So sometimes it works. I guess with the pear here, with the peel, it might actually work. We'll see that later. But now I show you the wonderful dressing. It is shiny and silken. You see this wonderful color. With the cinnamon and the vanilla. I could use other spices too, but now it's vanilla and cinnamon. Here. Goes perfect with the pear. It's a wonderful breakfast, definitely. And the only thing missing now, you don't need to do that. To make it a little bit more shining is pomegranate seeds on top. And all the other flavors are a little bit also with regard to this topping of the pomegranate seed. See, isn't that very nice? Just by the looks of it. Yeah, I like it a lot. What I have here, never did before. The fragrance is so nice. The vanilla expands through all the senses. Vanilla is a very complex, right? One of the most complex flavors we have, I guess, in the seasonings and our spices. And also depends on results from the complex process. It takes a month to make vanilla beans because they have to be fermented. They have to be stored in a warm environment, and then they can be made into the vanilla powder we have. And it's very complex, this flavor, the fermentation process and all these things. It's a petal. It's a huge petal. And yeah, I guess that is so complex, that flavor, and I guess that might be also a reason why it opens the senses. Yeah. Our sense of our ability to feel something is opened. It's a sensual, very sensual spice. Yeah, that's why vanilla is very precious and also always very, very nice to use if you know to use it, how to use it. It can also be used with chili in a whole different way, or with ginger here. But I decided for cinnamon today. That's another story. There's so much to say about any of the ingredients, and it's all very interesting. But for now, I will eat it, enjoy it on my table. Thanks a lot for watching. I hope you enjoyed a little bit. If so, thumbs up, and maybe even subscribe and leave it on YouTube. Then you have another recipe every single day. And you can also find me on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, and Twitter.